right, so we are on page 217 to correct yesterday's homework. So we had number 2, 9, 12, 14, and 19. I don't know why we are talking, but our voices need to be off. Okay, so 5th grade. We started with number 2. So for number 2, we took 9 and 7/10 times 4/10. You should have gotten the digits 3, 8, 8, and then you go back to the two numbers we multiplied and you count how many are to the right of the decimal. Well, we have 1, the 7, 2, the 4. So then we go in 2 times, 1, 2, or 2 spots, and your decimal should be between the 3 and the first 8. How many of you got the digits correct in your answer? You got a 388. How many of you put the decimal point in the correct spot? Awesome. Thank you, Frankie. Okay. Then we had number 9. So number 9, same thing. We multiplied 1,000 times 94 hundredths. When you multiply, you got, let's see, you probably got 94000, right? I think you got 94000. So you probably had 2 extra zeros on the end of this. And then if you look back at the two numbers that you multiplied, we had 2 to the right of the decimal. So 1, 2. So you would have moved in 1, 2, and that decimal would have gone right behind this 0. So then, because the other 2 digits were zeros, you could have just said 940. Or you could have written 940.00. Are there questions on number 9? Okay. How do we feel on number 9? Awesome. How do we feel on number 9? Awesome. Good. Then after number 9, we had number 12. So number 12 was 16 hundredths times 3/10. So when you multiplied, you got 0048. Then you would have looked back at the two numbers you multiplied and counted how many digits were to the right of the decimal. So we have 2 in the first number, 1, 2, and 1 in the other one. So 1, 2, 3. So you would have gone in 1, 2, 3, and your decimal would have gone between the two zeros. How do we feel on number 12? Yeah? Awesome. Jack L., how did you feel on number 12? Okay. Then we had number 14 on the next page. So, for number 14, Anna's family had a party in a restaurant. Their food bill was $214.58. The tip for the servers was found by multiplying the food bill by 18 hundredths. So that means we needed to multiply the food bill, the $214.58, by 18 hundredths. Then what confused some people was when they said, what was the cost of the food bill and tip before sales tax, round to the nearest cent? So people were like, wait, do I need to round these before I multiply? No. If you rounded before you multiplied, I understand where you may have gotten confused. What they were saying is, if you were taking the food bill and you're multiplying it by the 18 hundredths, you might get a decimal that goes into the thousands place. Now, you guys, when we are talking with money, do we ever have more than do we ever go beyond the hundredths place with the cents? Do we ever say $10 and 485 cents? No. So that means if you had a digit in the thousands place, you would need to round it to the hundredths place to make it into money. So you should have had 253 point and then 20, and then there was another digit. I don't remember what it was in the thousands place. Actually, let me multiply on my phone real quick and I'll tell you. I should have written this down. 214.58 times 0.18 equals, I had to type that wrong, 214.58 times 0.18 equals 38. Okay, so you guys, what you would have gotten, this is what tripped people up. So I need you at your desk, not standing at my desk. I need you at your desk right now. You probably got 38.6244. How many of you got that? 38.6244. Now, how many of you wrote that as your answer? Okay, that's almost your answer. This is the tip you would give to the servers. So what you were supposed to do is add the tip to the food bill. You guys know, have you ever seen your parents like fill out a receipt at a restaurant? It says on there like, okay, this is how much your food costs, and then there's a place to leave a tip. Have you ever seen that before? So you can tip the people who are waiting on you at the restaurant and making your food and everything. So when you tip them, then let's say you tip them $10, you then have to add the $10 onto the food total. And then you get the new total with the tip. So that 38.6244, that was the tip for the servers. So you were supposed to add that onto the $214.58. Does that make sense? Yeah. So if we add those together, we would have gotten, so plus 214.58, you would have gotten 253.2044. Well, we know you can't have like 2,044 cents. That does not make sense. So you would have gotten to the zero. That's where you were rounding. Look next door. There was a 4. That 4 would tell you to keep the 0 the same, and the 2 4s would have become 0. So $253.20. Now, if you got the tip total and wrote that as your answer, technically you were completely on the right track. You just forgot to add the tip to the bill, okay, to the food bill, okay? Does that make sense? And you know what, guys? I picked 14 because it was a little tricky. So it's okay if you got it wrong. This was a hard question because it was multiple steps. I totally understand if you didn't get it right. That's okay. Then we had number 19, and this one itself was worded weird. I had a lot of people coming in asking me, wait, Missy, what do we have to do for this? So basically what they said for number 19, how many of you have heard of something being made out of 14 karat gold or 24 karat gold? Have you ever heard of that? Okay, so when they say that, it's not completely made out of solid gold. Have any of you ever felt something made out of solid gold before or held it? It is extremely heavy. So if you're making jewelry that someone's supposed to wear, you don't usually make it out of solid gold because first of all, it's super expensive, but it can also be really heavy. So what a lot of jewelers do is they take gold and mix it with other metals. So when it's 14 karat gold, that means the metal mixture has 58, or in 1 ounce of 14 karat gold, there is 0.58 ounces of actual gold in it. So what they wanted you to find out is, okay, then how much pure gold would be in 1.8 ounces of 14 karat gold, and then how much actual gold would be in 0.5 ounces of 14 karat gold. So what you needed to do was take your 58 hundredths and multiply it by 1 8/10 for part A. That would have given you 1 and 44 thousandths ounces. Make sure you have your unit. This is a word problem, so make sure you have your unit. Then for part B, you would have taken 58 hundredths times 5 tenths, and that would have given you 29 hundredths of an ounce. Now, you guys, why do you think they didn't say ounces for part B? Why didn't they say ounces? They said ounce. Why do you think? Will? Yes, but over here our answer is ounces, plural. Why isn't our answer for part B ounces? Why is it just ounce? Eosius? Yeah, you guys, if we look in our ones place, so the first place value for a whole number, there's a 0. This is less than 1 ounce. And when we say 1 ounce, we don't say 1 ounces. So that means if it's less than 1, we would say ounce instead of ounces. We would have singular, not plural, okay? And if you put ounces, that's okay. But in the future, think about that. Okay, my answer is less than 1. It's not even a whole 1. So I should probably make my unit singular, not plural. Okay, I want you to show me on your hand, 1 through 5, how did you feel about this homework assignment as a whole? And I know there were tricky questions with this one, so you might be thinking, Miss E, I'm not that confident, but that's okay. I want you to still show me anyways. Show me on your hand 1 through 5. How did you feel? And it's okay if you're at a 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Okay. How did you feel just about the first page without the word problems? Without? Okay. All right. Hands down. Thank you very much for being honest with me. Okay, I'm going to tell you before I stop the recording so that our virtual learners can hear, this is what we're going to be doing next, you guys. Today is going to kind of be like a review day, meaning I have a Google form for you to fill out. So when we close up our workbooks, I will dismiss you to grab Chromebooks. What you're going to do is you're going to go into Google Classroom, and I hope you're looking on the smartboard, and I'm recording for our virtual learners too. You're going to go into Google Classroom, Math, always go over to Classwork, then in-person learning. See how I have an 11, 13, add, subtract, and multiply decimals exit ticket? You are going to complete this Google form first, which is why I had you grab your notebook so you have a place to do your work. Make sure you click submit when you're done with it. Then you will be able to play Prodigy. Now, before I let you go, before I dismiss you, I need voices off and I need you listening. I wanted to remind all of you, if you're ever communicating with someone in Google Classroom, make sure you are on the stream and you are posting comments, because you guys, if you go into classwork and you comment on a post, every single thing you type and comment, I get an email for, Mrs. McCullough gets an email for, and Mrs. Roach gets an email for. I only want you commenting in classwork if it's a question for the assignment. Does that make sense? Yeah. So let's say, we talked yesterday, if we were to have to go to virtual learning, you had a question on like something I posted, you would comment on that post in classwork. But if you were just saying hi to your classmates, you want to make sure you're in the stream and then you can type something there. Can we do that? Awesome. So saying hi and that kind of stuff is in the stream. A question on an assignment or something that I posted, then you can comment in classwork. Capiche? Awesome, you guys. Thank you.